of humanity, evil people in high places have been hiding the truth in plain sight and building a false reality on lies and deception for far too long. And now, their time is coming to an end. It's time to fight back, to wake up, and to begin an uprising. Now is a time for judgment.
This is a time for judgment. Welcome to today's show. This video should help those of you out there who are new to this, who aren't waking up or haven't woken up yet. And for those of you out there who are awake, this will help you, definitely should help you wake up some friends, because I pieced things together from the narratives of what's going on, the massive distraction that's going on right now with Donald Trump, which is all part of the divide and conquer agenda. They know that mind control is a technique that needs to be implemented 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they know that through repetition, they can constantly program and control people. You probably hear people say things in your day-to-day life that make no sense. They'll say things, if you say something to them, they're like, it is what it is. Or if somebody does something, they go, you deserve it. These are all things that are programmed into people from repetition. The narrative with the left and right, they are programming both sides. I'm going to show you the clips. Now, most of you are familiar with the Sinclair Broadcasting clip, where you see that all the news anchors all talk off the same script. There's a reason for it. It's a controlled narrative. These editors who write these scripts are people that you'll never see and never know who they are. They're people, though, who are billionaires, millionaires, who will be at the Bohemian Grove, the Bilderberg meetings. They won't be people in the front lines like the Bill Gates of the world who have now decided to become faces of what's going on. These are the people who control the narrative. They work together with those other people, but nobody thinks about the news and how all of these people and celebrities as well, because the celebrities are being used and using the same talking points I'm about to show you. Nobody thinks about any of this stuff. They just see the news, they listen, and they think it's some original writing, or the people on the news, whether it's the actual news or it's the people on the news who are supposed to be like me, in a sense, like they're just talking about stuff. They're like, here's the topic I'm talking about. It's all scripted and it's all the same script with the same talking points. The talking points are the mind control. Those are the points that they want to continually use over and over to beat into your head. So let's start with the clip from the Sinclair Broadcasting Group, which I've used before, so you can just remember this, so you can have an idea of why all these things like a threat to our democracy are all common themes and common things that we hear nonstop in our society.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about
plaguing our country.
the sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news
has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these fake stories without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media platforms push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
So this is the type of thing that they use, repetitive mind control, through all the different mediums of media. They use it on the news, then they have celebrities come out and tweet it and say it in interviews, and it continues on, and then people just start saying it. Like when you hear a song on the radio, right? You might not even like the song. You might find yourself later that day, though, singing it in the shower or just humming it to yourself. And you're like, you don't even realize it. Sometimes you might catch yourself and be like, oh, why am I singing? I hate this. Nickelback, I hate this crap. Or whatever it might be that gets repeated over and over and over. Some Katy Perry garbage, etc. You get the point. Because you're hearing it over and over. The song's playing, the spell, I should say, on the radio over and over and over. The song gets stuck in your head. It's the same thing with the news. This is how the brain functions and works. So here are two narratives. Let's start with the liberal narrative. The liberals want to remind you that Big Brother's in control and nobody's above the law, except, of course, Steven Seagal. But nobody's above the law. That's their narrative that's coming out of it. And it's funny because you watch both sides of this and you see how ridiculous it is. You have the liberals saying defund the police and the Republicans saying, I can't believe they want to call for defunding the police. We have crimes everywhere, blah, blah, blah. And then the other side is now you have the Republicans saying defund the FBI, get rid of the FBI. When in reality, this is what the government wants. This is what the FBI wants. This is what the CIA want. They want to destroy the FBI, the CIA, the government itself. It's all going to be gone. That's the whole Phoenix Rising out of the ashes mindset. Everything is going to be destroyed. Order out of chaos. All these things. So, yes, the people at the FBI know what's going on. They're the ones who are creating this. They're not creating the raid at Trump. They're creating this. They're creating this mind control over the masses. Them and the Central Intelligence Agency, all these agencies. They're creating this on purpose. They're fine with destroying their agencies. They're all okay with it. They're all in on it. Because this has to happen for them to get what they want, not for us to get what we want. Remember, problem, reaction, solution. So here's the above the law narrative.
Whatever your opinion of Donald Trump, we can all agree no one is above the law.
It is. You don't want to let a former president get away with crimes, right? Because nobody in America is above the law.
Attorney General Merrick Garland has said in recent weeks more than once that no one is above the law, including anyone who happens to be president. An ex-president is not above the law.
There's no person in this country who's above the law.
In America, nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law, not even a president or a former president of the United States.
So there's your predictive programming that they're above the law, right? Above the law, above the law, above the law. So then what ends up happening is you go somewhere and politics or whatever comes up, some idiot who has no idea what's going on will repeat that. They'll say, nobody's above the law, though. They wouldn't even realize that they're saying it. You'll say, hey, well, this stuff's kind of crazy that the government's, agencies are being used against the, people with that and blah, 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 right? And then they'll go, nobody's above the law, though, even Trump, right? These people just don't realize that they're created in a laboratory. This is social engineering. They're not thinking independently. They're being told how to think. And this isn't a one-track narrative. It's a two-sided narrative because that's how the war is being created. So you have the liberal side, and then you have the Republican side. So what's the narrative that comes out of that? The narrative that comes out of that is the banana republic. They're talking about the banana republic, and they're talking about the government coming after you. There's truths in both of these narratives. Because this is the New World Order mindset. The above the law narrative is them telling us that none of us are above the law. And they're reminding us with what they're doing with the IRS, et cetera, that none of us are above Big Brother. Not the law, not the police, Big Brother. In this narrative, they're reminding us that the FBI, the CIA, the IRS can come to your door and do this to you. So don't forget about that. Here is the banana republic, they're coming for you narrative that the Republican side pushes.
These things are what happen in banana republics or...
Another night of violence.
You're the only one that can help.
Programming, violence.
Most Americans now, by the way, in both parties, believe we're living in a banana republic.
As of this moment in time,
What does that even mean?
21st century America,
I've never heard
Joe
that before.
Biden is no better than a banana republic.
This is an abomination.
This is Gestapo crap.
It's probably the worst day in the history of the FBI.
This is a wake-up call for those in Congress to be able to use the tools at their disposal to defund the FBI, dismantle the FBI into 1,000 bits.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene simply tweeting, defund the FBI.
If this is what they're able to do to the former president of the United States, think
you gotta
about
know
what they
about
could do to
Freemasonry,
you, to
philanthropy, and all this
anybody
crap.
in America.
Anyone will take their orders and they'll do what they're told for the system, as long as the agenda goes
The
through.
real target of
And
this
it will.
investigation
And people
is
believe
you.
it.
Do we have a dual
You can't
justice
believe
system
this
in
crap.
America? Is there equal justice
Don't
under
believe
the
what these
law?
idiots believe. They don't
Deathly
think.
afraid for Donald Trump. I would not put assassination behind these people.
We're entering basically a Venezuelan, Zimbabwean, East German style banana republic.
So there is no right side to this. Both sides are fully under mind control. I've said this before. If I was actually a believer in this, obviously I would be considered a Republican, right? Because more conservative, I'm a Christian, so yeah, the stuff on the liberal side is just total insanity. And it's about people controlling your life. And I don't like anyone trying to control me or tell me what I can and can't do as far as humans go. Okay? I use the Bible to tell me what I can and can't do. That's my blueprint on how to live my life. But when it comes to human beings, I don't need somebody telling me, hey, you can only drive 50 feet today. Oh, I can? Yeah, I don't think so. I'll drive over you first. So the liberal side and the Republican side, obviously I would side that way, but the Republicans don't realize that they're under the same mind control. They all feel that they're 100% correct. And in a sense, if you look at everything that's happening, the Republican side would be the side that's more correct because the government side is trying to protect freedoms, independent freedoms. The liberal side is trying to take control. However, they're using both of these to create this civil war. They're using both of these channels, I should say, these tunnels, these avenues to have a two-sided war, a civil war. So both sides, at some point, this is going to come to a head. And like I said before, I've talked about it on my website, I've talked about how this will all culminate with blue and red states, and however they want to plan it out. I don't have a blueprint of what they're going to end up doing. I do believe that half the country will be divided, and they'll begin their smart cities, their New World Order in these specific spots, where the other side will be, they'll create more of the famines and do stuff and go after people who are on the other side, which unfortunately will be us, because we will unfortunately be in the red states based on not taking the magic potion and all those types of things. But they'll start rolling this out experimentally on these other people, because the other side, the liberal side, are really the lab rats. That's what they are. This whole country was a giant experiment, okay? They're done with the experiment. Now they're moving to the next stage of that experiment, and we have these people who are willingly okay with living in slavery, like people in China. And again, the same side over there who thinks that China is a free country, a free, great country. I don't know if you've seen that coming out of their mouths, but the liberal side is talking about China being free. I've constantly been talking about China to just look at China and realize what's coming here. It is the most corrupt, disgusting, disturbing country that there ever was, probably. It's unbelievable that the stuff that they do there to the civilians, how they just take control, they lock them up. I mean, it's really unbelievable. The social score is enough. You guys saw the video I did yesterday, a few days ago. Check it out if you haven't, so you can see that. But this is what it's about. It's about repetition on both sides, because that's how you program people. So that's how these people are being programmed into this civil war. They have one narrative, they have the other narrative. Above the law versus they're coming for me. They're not going to come for me. Banana Republic, right? When in reality, for both sides, if they both were aware and awake, they'd realize this isn't a republic at all. And they need the people to go to war with one another to bring in the government they want. Because if they didn't create all this chaos, everybody would just go, why are we changing? We're not changing the government. Liberals and Republicans, they go, what? Everything's great. I like the way things are. I feel free. I go to work. I'm okay with this system. They don't want that system anymore. So they need to do this. Otherwise, both sides would have problems. So the liberal side wants a new system because they feel they're oppressed. They feel that the world, they haven't gotten what they deserve in life. That's part of the pride mind control programming, right? The liberal people, like, I didn't get a job because of my skin color. I didn't get a job because of this. And then the Republican side sees that because of affirmative action and everything, they hand out jobs to people based on their skin color or based on their gender. And they see the destruction that occurs, right? We have, them putting people in positions of power based on the fact that they're trans or based on the fact that they're black or all this stuff. It's to drive both sides completely nuts. And it's working because we see it driving both sides completely nuts. You can check the pulse of this stuff on Twitter. I always just go over to Twitter without even having a Twitter account, and I just look at what the stuff is that's trending, and I type in some of these keywords like this, like above the law, and all this stuff comes up, and you see all these people repeating it. You see all these celebrities repeating it. Then you type in Banana Republic, you see all the Republicans repeating it, all the politicians repeating it, all the Republican celebrities, which aren't many, or at least we should say the Republican, control,
actors.
go and tell pro people writing the same thing. And it just filters and filters and filters, and people don't realize that's what they're saying. They're saying it because it's been programmed into them.
I really believe when we're connected, we can solve problems
Oh, I'm
together
sorry
so
that you
much faster.
believe in technology. It'll come back to bite you.
Filters and filters and filters, and people don't realize that's what they're saying. They're saying it because it's been programmed into them to say it. It's the same thing with how we've been deceived with like trends and fashion trends. It's like, who do you think decides it? They're like, this is the new hot fashion trend. I always use this example to help wake people up. You know, they're like, this trend is back or whatever. You see it on magazine covers. Like, what do you think? It just came back? Like, one person did it, and another person's like, did it independently with like organically thinking. No. These media outlets tell them it's back. The celebrities tell you it's back, and then everybody follows it, and they're like, yeah, I'm wearing bell bottoms again because, it's just back in style now. Everything's it's just they're telling you. They're telling you how to dress. They're telling you how to act. They're telling you how to talk, and they're telling you how to think, which is not thinking at all. It's repeating the narrative. So I wanted to cover that. I hope this video helps wake up anybody out there. Especially if you're new to all this, this is the reason that I continue to make videos, is to try to get new people, especially the youth out there, to wake up to what's going on. Because they're going to be, the younger you are, the more stuck in this you're going to be. And you're going to be crucial in spreading the gospel, crucial in getting people to critically think and unplug them from this system so that they can actually freely think. So the key is to obviously try to unplug yourself from it and realize that most of these things sometimes like I'll just do something. Like, if I'm doing something and I'll say something, I'll be like, why did I say that? No. I'm sure you've done that, or why did I do that? And that's how you start pulling yourself out. You just start questioning, even when you do something or say something, right? If you jam your finger on a desk and you curse, it's just like, why do you say it? Why? Because this is how we've been programmed to respond and how to react and how to think. So, really, it's how not to think, how they can make us think. And eventually, they will completely control your mind by being inside of our bodies, which is exactly what's going on with all of this stuff. But right now, if you don't have that Lamar, you're still okay. But I want to remind everyone, check out the website at timeforjudgment.com. A lot of great information over there. It is well worth it. It's the price of a bottle of water. A month, it's $2.99. I think bottle of water is like $3. I don't know. A gallon at least is, I think, depending, I guess, on the brand, but whatever. Just the fact that they sell water, by the way. That's the world we live in. But check it out. There's a lot of great information being shared, exclusive content as well. I thank everyone for being here. Hope you're doing well. God bless all of you and your families.
I know you called.